Alright guys, we have another 3D printer here. Gonna do an unboxing on. This is the Wanhao Duplicator i3 Plus. It just got delivered from China. So we're gonna do an unboxing here. Some of the other videos I've seen, what they like to do is I guess you open it up from the bottom and flip it over and everything's supposed to come out nice and neat. So I'm going to give it a shot, and if it don't work, we are going to fail together here. Alright, we have some stuff here on top. We have the Wanhao 3D i3 Plus. We have an extra sheet of their build tack material. I see this one has the corners cut now. Some of them I've seen are square. And this has the actual, it says never touch it instead of the never tow it. So this must be updated. Pretty thick instruction booklet. Very nice put together. I've seen some of the other ones, they have just like a couple sheets of paper stapled together. This is like a pretty professional book here. Has a lot of information in here on servicing, using Cura. Wow, there's a lot of information in this book. This is going to be something to sit down and really go through. We have a small filament pack of PLA. Looks like it's just like a natural color. And I know, see, they must have changed this because it looks like if I flip it over, it's going to be, I don't know, we'll give it a shot. We'll see if that has changed. So I am going to flip this box over here and we'll lift it up and see how it goes. Get the flap out of the way. There we go. There is the plastic. Get a razor blade here and we'll get through the plastic. See what we got. Just kind of a quick update. I've been doing a lot of printing with the Monoprice Mini, and wow, that printer it is really decent. I'm getting some really great prints with that printer lately. Okay, so we're gonna pop this off. Yeah, it looks like your best bet is to still cut open the bottom of the box and flip it over. Piece of foam. We have a goodies box in here. It has a USB, whole bunch of little feet and some Allen keys, some zip ties, our US power cable, decent scraper. This is part of our filament holder. A little drill bit for cleaning. Oh, and the bottom of the box, almost didn't see it, is the filament pusher tool. So it's in the box too. You just gotta watch. Mine was down in the corner there, and there is a 4 gig SD card in there, which is very nice. Put all this stuff back in the box here and move that out of the way. And we have the base. Wow, this thing is really, I mean, it's got a good bit of weight to it. Let me move this ribbon cables out of the way here. I want to slide the bed and see if this one has the scraping sound. It does. It's very loud. Bearings in there. Bearings are very loud. This one has 4 bearings in the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not. 4 bearings. They are loud. I don't know, once it's running, we'll see how loud it is. If it's very loud, I may end up changing them out. Alright, foam, more foam, and we have the top. Clear all that out there. So the top looks like just one large zip tie here, and it doesn't look to be missing any of the screws. Everything feels very nice, solid built. The little micro switch here seems to be in decent shape. Everything seems alright. Alright, I am going to put this together here on camera and get it all hooked up, and then we will do a first print and see how it goes. Alright, I am going to start putting this together. We are going to do it together. So I need to get my pair of side cutters here, and I am going to cut this large zip tie. I thought these were sharper than that. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to kind of slide all this stuff off to the side here. And I'm going to go through the book with you guys step by step. Now, I received an email from Wanhao on there is a recall. So before I start to put this together, I think it's going to be easier to do it with the bed loose, with the top gantry not attached yet. I am going to look into this. The recall, another YouTuber had discovered that the springs are making contact with the back side of the heated bed, and what they're finding is that it is grounding out and causing it to arc and get really hot, and there's a chance of a fire. So I think before I go very far, I think that's going to be one of the first things I do. Now, Wanhao did say they were going to send me some insulating washers to prevent that from happening. I think what I'm going to do is with one of my other printers, I'm just going to print out kind of a spring cup and put that in place. I'm going to probably print it in nylon. That should be a little bit better heat tolerant wise. But I think before we go any further, I think that's going to be the first thing I do. So as soon as I get them printed, we'll be back. Show you guys an update here. I will post a link down in the bottom section showing the Thingiverse. Someone had already made up a spring cup with an insulator on it. So I just printed those out and installed them. And they went in really easy, very simple to add them in place. So now I'm going to flip the bed back over and reinstall it. I also want to point out on the Wanhao YouTube site, they show a video on how to replace the bearings in the bed. And in that YouTube video, they only show 3 bearing blocks. So they had 2 here and then also one over here. But this machine, once I get the bed put back on, I'll show you. This machine actually has 4 bearings underneath here. I guess it makes it a lot stiffer. Some of the videos where they had the single bearing on this side, the corners would flex a little bit on either side. Not a lot, not that that really made that much of a difference, but they've added one more bearing, and you have 4 bearings in the corner now. So I'm gonna put this all back together, and we'll start the video again of actually building this printer. Okay, I got the spring cups put back in place, and tightened up these little thumb nuts here, and all I did was pick up the base and slide it through the gantry here, and we're going to go through the part pack here and find we need 2 screws on each side, and get them out here, and we're going to start to put these in here. They include the Allen wrench, so just got to slide it back here a little bit to get the screw holes lined up. So it's tight. Now, I wouldn't say really tight, but it is tight to get it to slide together here. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. I can't get the screw to start in the hole. Like I'm lined up, but for some reason the screw won't. Go ahead, let me get a better angle on this here. Maybe it's a matter of I'm just off a little bit, which I am. I couldn't see it setting up higher. I'm off just a little bit. Try to get it centered here as best I can so I can get the screw to start. Try not to cross thread it. Really difficult to get that screw started here. Can't imagine the tolerances are that tight. But not sure, maybe it's just the threads on this. No, there it is, it's starting. Alright. Not bad. I'm just going to get this screw started here, and then turn it this way a little bit. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way. I'm just going to get it started in there. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way so that I can turn this and get a better angle on it. So I am putting this screw in here. So it looks like you're in the i3 Plus going from 3 bearings to 4 bearings in the plate in the bed here. Seems like that's something they've improved since some of the other videos I've seen. We're going to turn this around here a little bit so I can get this other screw in, and I'm gonna kind of go around it and see if I see anything like obvious, and if I discover any little differences as I'm going along, even down the road from here, I will let you know in any videos as I start to print and use it more and more and give you updates on how it's doing. I'll let you know if I notice anything else, but right now I'm just kind of finger tightening the screws in here. I'm not going crazy on tension yet until I can get all 4 in. I hate to tighten any up and then not be able to get a screw in place. So they are definitely, I mean, you have to have it perfectly lined up to get the screws in here. There is that one. In fact, I am going to pause this quick. I'm going to change the camera angle so that I can get a better angle so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Alright, just as a quick comparison to show you the little rubber feet that come on the printer, you can see that it doesn't even fit on that well. Like, it's just barely hanging on there. I mean, it really takes no effort for me to just bump them and they fall off. And the ones that I printed out from Thingiverse, they clip on nice and tight, and it's holding on there, and it's definitely going to dampen a lot more vibration than what this little piece of rubber does. I haven't figured out where to put these zip ties yet to tighten up any of the wires here so that nothing gets ripped off. I'm gonna take it through some motions here and see where I'm gonna have enough slack to add the zip ties. I went through the book, not thorough, to kind of see if there was any information in there on where the zip ties went, and I couldn't find anything. So I'm gonna go through here and we're gonna power it up and we're gonna go through all of this together and see what happens. So there's the boot screen coming up. And that was pretty quick. Booted fairly fast. So just kind of go through some of the menus. We have System. language, home, X, Y, and Z. I'm not sure what PID is. Motor and factory settings. Let's go into factory settings. Nothing. I guess that would maybe return it to factory settings. Tools, preheat, filament, disable drive motors, level, and cool down. Let's see what's in the filament. Load and unload. Okay, so I'm going to be curious to see if going through load filament, if it does it like some of the flash forge that I have. Basically, it goes through a preheat, starts the extruder, and goes through that whole pattern. Kind of curious to see. A lot of guys I saw, they just preheat the head and just shove it in and go from there. What is, I guess this is for leveling the build plate. And we have a print. So I'm going to back the camera up here a little bit and we'll go into leveling the build, or at least home all the axes, and we will see what happens here. Make sure all the end stops work. That works. That works. And we'll see if Z works. It's coming down here. And I think I should have tightened these up all the way so it doesn't drive it down into the bed, which it would have. Okay, definitely before you home all the axes, you're gonna want to tighten up all these beds, leveling screws here, and bring it down all the way before you home everything, because it's definitely going to come down and hit. So I am going to, alright, I'm going to go through and level the build plate, and once that's done I will come back and we'll load some filament and we'll do a test print.